Hello, parents. Okay, this is very specifically just for the parents, just so they have a good idea of what the Cambridge IGCSE 0500 is all about from their perspective, from their point of view. So this is kind of like what the new parent needs to know about IGCSE English. So the paper is made up of two exams, and this is important because we have a reading exam and a writing exam. Now, each paper is 2 hours long, and that is tricky because students need to learn to be able to concentrate for that full 2 hours. So when they're doing practice papers or practice exams, and guys, you've got to make sure that they do lots of practice papers and lots of practice exams. I'll drop a link into the bottom here of where you can access a lot of the practice papers. Okay. You want to, at least the last 6 weeks at the very minimum before the exams, be doing lots and lots of practice papers. Now, paper one, that is the reading exam. We're going to do a little bit more discussion on that in a second. The paper two is the writing exam. And this matches what the students will be preparing for when they go to AS level English. Okay, so for the 0500, it's only the two papers, paper one and paper two. Okay, and the tricky part here is IGCSE English does require study of core concepts. So please make sure in that the students, they have time in their study schedules to be studying their English notes, all of the notes that they've been making in class. So, paper one split into 3 sections. Now, most of the textbooks, the Cambridge textbooks, and if you're working if you're not working with a tutor like myself, then you want to make sure that you've got a workbook as well. Workbook's really important, okay? Because they're going to cover these main core concepts as you're going through the textbook. So I've broken it down to a very simplistic ideas just to focus on those main things that we need to develop within the students. So question one mainly tests the understanding of implied and explicit meaning. So it's kind of like the comprehension. And this is where I suggest parents, you read lots and lots of different types of texts, not just stories, articles, blogs, travel writing, any sort of texts, letters that you can get your hands on. Most of the textbooks will cover all of these inside of them. The second part of question one is you're going to have to summarize a piece of text, and here basically the core concepts are paraphrasing, synthesizing ideas, developing vocabulary. Question two, it's very much about the understanding of how language works. So again, we want to develop the students' vocabulary. Vocabulary, again, very important. But the big questions 2C and especially that question 2D focuses on how writers create effect in writing to affect a reader. And the lessons that they learn here are going to support them, again, not only in AS level, but also in the paper two when they're doing their own writing. Question three, the longer piece of writing. Here, students are expected to write about 350 words, 200 to 350 words. And here you're going to have to study all of your various different text types. All the good textbooks will cover all the different text types and how to extract information to use in a different text. So again, this is a study subject, and although this is the reading paper, the writing, there's a lot of writing. So in question two, you're roughly going to be writing about probably about 400 words. In question three, you're probably going to be writing about 300 words. In question 1, you're probably going to be writing about 200 odd words. Yeah, give or take. Let's have a quick look at question 2. So, question 2, this is the writing paper. So here, obviously, there's a main focus on students' ability to write and express themselves within writing. So they'll be given 2 texts, and they will have to write some sort of a transactional text, normally an article or speech, and it'll have to be discursive or argumentative, generally. And it's where they'll basically have to extract information from 2 different texts to put it into a single text, okay, using language and structural devices to affect that particular audience. Again, it could be persuasive as well. So there's a lot of different core concepts that need to be studied inside that section there. And then finally, there's the question 2. And this is where we have the narrative and the descriptive writing. And you have a choice of either writing a piece of narrative writing or descriptive writing. And I put a lot of emphasis in my lessons on descriptive writing. The reason I do that is because you're going to need that descriptive writing in your narrative writing. There are a lot of rules and regulations that come with writing a piece of narrative. There is a specific way. There are certain things that examiners are looking for when it comes to narrative writing. So we do need to understand those key conventions. We need to understand how to write effectively to influence a reader. So these are some great resources for anybody studying IGCSE, whether you're with a tutor like myself, or whether you're studying it on your own, or if you're studying it in a school. Teacher Ash from IGCSE Success. Again, I will put links to all of these amazing YouTubers. Please, please, please go and check them out. Teacher Ash is absolutely amazing. He has support materials. He has so much information available, as does Mrs. Duckworth. She's also absolutely amazing. She also does a lot with the IGCSE literature. Wow English. She has some amazing videos. Again, lots of support materials, very valuable. Mr. Everything English. You have to pick and choose your videos specifically for the IGCSE English, the 0500, if that is your focus. But again, some amazing videos there. Mr. Salles, my big hero, love him. He does all of the exam boards. He does the IGCSEs, the GCSEs, and he has some amazing videos. Schofield on Shakespeare. Don't be put off by the name. It's not all just Shakespeare. He actually does a lot of work, all the exam boards, GCSE, IGCSE, and I will put links to any of them in the bottom. So parents, if you've got questions, if you're worried about anything, drop your questions into the chat below. If you're a student and you're watching this, share it with your mum, share it with your dad, share it with your friends. And if they've got questions about anything to do with IGCSE English 0500, then please pop the questions in and I'd be very, very willing to help you. Have a wonderful day.